Hey guys, I'm not really sure how difficult this one's going to be for me. I don't know. Yesterday I got hit with a realization. Um, and it's one of those ones where you sit there and you go, I didn't need to know this. What the fuck? Oh, there was a guy that I met, and let me think, it's been 2 years since Doofus. So, 15 years ago. We actually, we played on the same softball league in Detroit. And he played with his boyfriend, who was a doofus. I think we have a thing where we date doofuses. Um, and, oh God, hold on. So I would see him all the time, and he was beautiful. I mean, beautiful. Like, holy shit, how can somebody like that exist in the world? And we never spoke. We played together for about 2 years. So, different teams, never spoke a word to one another. And I just had this like crush. It was in the back of my head. I didn't really pay attention to it because it was irrelevant. He had a boyfriend, and that's just not how the world works for me. So it's my last day in Detroit. And we have softball on Sunday. And Monday I get to drive across Michigan, through Illinois, up into Wisconsin to my new job, which was outside of just a little town outside of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And I'm there, I'm with my friends, we're talking, and everybody knows it's my last hurrah. But I get up and go grab food and come back out, and my entire team's gone. And it's just me. So I'm just like, this is lovely. Thanks, guys. I go back in for something, and I don't even remember what. And there he is, Matt. This just gorgeous human being. And it's my last day. So what do I care? What do I care how I appear or come off or whatnot? So I walk up to him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, hey. And we just started talking. And I do not have an understanding of the amount of time we talked. In my mind, it was hours. I don't know if it was. I just know that it was kind of like talking to this, like this. I was just me, and he was him. And it was a very interesting conversation because I walked away thinking that was supposed to be my guy. And as I moved to Wisconsin, because there was nothing to do, it was beyond me. There was no jobs. It was 2008, right? I go to my job. I meet my ex-husband, and we start dating. And I'm talking back and forth, and Matt's really cool, but he's in a relationship. So a year or two go by, and that relationship implodes. And he reaches out to me, and he's like, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm good, how are you? He says, I'm single. And I'm like, I'm engaged. Oh, we talk on and off throughout the years. And it was last fall. It couldn't have been last fall. It's been more than a year. The fall before last. I'd just broken up. Don and I got a divorce. And I'm on Facebook, and I get this note that said, you're single. When did you become single? And I'm like, in April. Why? He said, I've been in love with you this whole time. I'm like, what? No, you haven't. Yes, I have. So we talked literally for an indeterminate amount of time, less than 2 hours. And we're both like, and he's like, I want to see you. I said, according to Facebook, you're engaged. He goes, yeah, I need to see you before I get married. I'm like, why? Because what I felt for you was magical. And I've never felt like this for anybody. And I'm like, I don't even know how to touch this. The part of me that I got goosebumps right now, I'm sorry. The part of me that knows what love is says that I met somebody and it was instant. And the part of me that is logical and says this is how we should operate in the world and this is the ethics behind how we operate, sat there and just started crying because there was no way to make that work. So we talked for a little bit and we even set up to maybe meet. And I went for a hike and I did the perfect INFJ, which is, here's your scenario. And I started walking through the scenarios. Okay, we meet at what's the name of that place? Pronto's? I think it's Pronto's. It's a restaurant. It's craptacular, but it has a bar next to it. It's like a bar restaurant. And the restaurant part of it, I always remember being awful. But we would always go there because you could eat. They had like a pastry section, and then you'd walk in, and then you were in the gay bar. So that was kind of fun. But you know, the scenario is that I would walk in and I would see him, and it would be magic. And as I'm going through all of this stuff, the part of my brain that says this is what I know the world to be like, and this is what you're seeing, and you have to hold them up and they have to look similar, and they're doing this, and that is the turbulence. So as I'm sitting there going, okay, I get to see him, he's going to be that same vivacious, like fun-loving, cheerful, this aura of like, just, I don't even know the word. I don't know that there is a word. It's just mad. And I then said, what happens if that's not real? There's a myth in my head. And this is the myth. I've been telling you the myth. A storyline that makes me, that's one of my like treasured memories that I could destroy by doing this thing, by going and meeting him, and maybe it's not real anymore, or I go meet him and it is exactly what I think it is, and he doesn't feel the same, or I go, it is what it is, we both feel it, and then he has to make decisions that are going to hurt him and other people. And that would be on me. So what was my decision-making process? What would you do? So what did I do? I went through a lot of like all of this, and I wrote massive chats on Facebook that I deleted. I should never have written them, but I needed to write it down. I just needed to write it down somewhere else or do it a different way. But here I am. It's been, what, a year and a half? Sounds about right. I think it was like in November time frame. I went to Detroit. I had set it up to go to Detroit to meet him, and then I canceled on him, and then I unfriended him and told him he needed to move on with his life, and this wasn't going to go anywhere. And yet I still went to Detroit. I didn't reach out to him. I said, well, you know, obviously, if the gods want this to happen, then it will happen. It never happened. Or it hasn't happened yet, or however you want to look at it. But my treasured memory is still my treasured memory. And I still, like yesterday, something just went, and I'm like, what the fuck, where did this come from? And there he was, in my subconscious talking, being the cute, sweet guy he is. And I started looking at his pictures, and I'm like, wait a minute, this looks just like Seth from New Albany. And it looks just like Ethan from Louisville. I'm like, I have a type. It's gotten a little bit more refined. It now makes sense. That's not good for me, because it's attached to a myth. And it's attached to a myth that's very powerful for me. And gives me a lot of joy and a lot of heartache. And as an INFJ, having heartache is actually a good thing. It's really weird. I really get off on a very weird level in feeling all my feelings. And heartbreak is one of the ones that really tells me I'm alive. You'd think it'd be like joy or something, but no. There is a joy in heartbreak that just oh, that person exists in the world. This is so freaking cool. I can't do anything with them. I can't talk to him. I can't touch him. I can't kiss him. He doesn't exist here. And a part of me actually questions whether he ever existed at all anyway. And then I see him online, and I sit there, and it's back, and it sucks, and I feel alive. So, yeah, this is a story of Matt. Do I still love him? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is just sucks. He should be married by now. They were engaged. The pictures of him and his husband or fiance are still online. We're not friends, so I can't see what he's been up to, but if he still has those pictures, that tells me they're probably married. Okay, guys. Now you get to see the stupid that is an INFJ, madly in love with somebody that he will never get, and not even questioning why or worried about it. It's fun. It's nice. It's a beautiful story. I love you guys. Love you, dude. Thank you for listening.